Testing.
Hi, Stephen.
Yes?
This is Clem Fandango.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
No, what am I saying? What, this? It's nothing. Really, it's nothing, Ed. It's just, it's just Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Have a good time. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Okay, you little bastards. The time has come. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Alabrewski. Let's go.
Hopping right into yet another podcast. It's another week, another day. You woke up on the right side of the dirt. And we thank you for joining us, and we welcome you to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Back again, we are. The vocalminority.net is our very own website. No one else is on there but us.
That's right. Exclusive.
Yes. We do have a comment line. We heard a great comment last week, so that's always an option for you. 844-48-VOCAL. It's a thing with the telephone. You call, you leave a message, we play it back. That's how it goes, right?
Old school. All right.
Yeah.
You can also see any of our social medias. We've got them all, aside from True Social. We don't play with that, okay? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm still debating if that's a good idea or not, but yeah. Yeah, we're on, you can see some of our socials, or you can see all of them. I mean, we tend to post the same thing on all of them, but find one and follow them, all right?
Please.
Speaking of social medias, a quick social media test for the three of us. Well, for the two of you, since I'm asking the question. This is a gauge of our pop culture knowledge as of today, but also I'm just wondering how far has this thing proliferated. I'm pretty sure Nick's going to know. I don't know if it's broken into the Brewski bubble yet, though. But if I were to say Tuah on that,
oh yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I know who
you're up on Tuah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
I am. Yeah,
Nick,
you know, Steve, I'm a little more hip than you might give me some credit for.
No, well, listen, I know you're hip, but I just know this thing exploded on TikTok first, and I'm now trying to see how far. I just started seeing it on my Facebook feed in the last couple of days. So
I don't even know what it is, dude.
Oh. Nick is not up on Tuah. How could you not be?
I have no idea what Tuah is. I mean, maybe you'll jog my memory, but I don't think so.
Wow. Has a woman ever Tuah'd on you before?
What does it mean, squirt?
No. In other words, she's smoking your pole, and maybe things aren't going quite as well. So she, decides to, give a little bit extra lubrication. That's, and she spits on you.
Get a little grease out of the back of her throat. Yeah. No.
On that thing, as that girl said.
On that thing, that's right. Dude, you're gonna start to see this everywhere because it's blowing up for sure. Some cute young blonde in, I think it was Nashville actually, was being interviewed like man on the street kind of thing, and she was asked like, "What is a good sexual move you do?" And she just says in this bubbly sort of cute farm girl sort of ways that sometimes you just got to Tuah on that thing, and the internet loves her. She's going to be the next president, I think.
I can tell you who doesn't love her, though, right now.
Yeah, who?
Her old man. I guess her old man is some big time preacher down there, and everyone's like, "Hey, by the way, did you see what your daughter's all over the internet famous for right now?"
He made comment on the Tuah.
In case anybody doesn't know, God calls it an abomination.
And now
it's an abomination.
He hates his daughter, dude. You're exactly right, Brisky.
I wonder if that's true, actually, because I've seen multiple stories circulating about Tuah girl, and I don't know how anyone has found out all this information quickly because no one even knew who she was at first. I heard that she was a preschool teacher and got fired from her job because of talking about, Tuahing. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's fun rumors. So,
Steve, you can get a still shot from the video, do a Google reverse image search in a matter of 5 minutes, and you'll find her social media immediately. I mean,
but I've been reading articles saying that there's a bunch of fake stuff out there because she's trying to lay low. So I don't even know.
But now,
I saw a picture of her signing autographs with her dad there according to what the picture was called. So I don't know. It's
but I'm just saying, like when it first starts going on the internet, before she's just like, holy hell, what's going on here? All it takes is for someone to get a still photo and do a Google image search, and then there she is right there.
She's an American hero, and I hope she cashes in on her 15 seconds of fame with her Hawk Tuah t-shirts or however she's going to make money. But
how are we spelling Hawk Tuah?
HAWK, and then it's TUH, and I put girl.
TUAH is the correct spell.
Well, I said she came right up here by me spelling it, so I don't care.
Right, but is it really her? That's the question, because I've been seeing all sorts of people.
I'm looking at the video right here.
I've already seen multiple different names for this woman. I've seen multiple different occupations. So there's definitely false information out there, but some of it could be true for sure. I just,
wherever Brewski is right now, I guarantee it's factual. And I mean, we can check out the story.
Is it
that's a fact.
Oh, it's a fact, dude. Yeah.
So, here's a better question, though. Has a woman ever Hawk Tuah on you? That seems a little redneck-ish. Grab some lube or something. I don't know.
I've never been Hawk Tuah on. No, I haven't.
Listen, I've been Hawk Tuah on. Listen, I've been lactated on. Okay,
and that's true. Yeah, I mean, Brewski's had some fine moments. So, have you been Hawk Tuah on?
Never. I know it's sort of a porn star move when you're doing oral, but I was thinking it was more of like a hand job reference. But either way, I've never had a woman just feel the need to like Hawk Tuah on me directly. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a compliment or step up your game, woman. Grab the KY or something.
I don't know if I'm offended by it, to be honest with you. I mean, I may do something for me. I don't know, but I'm not against trying it. Excuse me.
But she's really cute too, and she has a nice smile. So I guarantee you wouldn't have a problem with her doing it.
Well, let's get to a little need to know news and see if anyone is Hawk Tuahing in these news stories. Here forward.
This is need to know news. News you need to know.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
Steve Harness.
All right, so news. Let's stay on the Hawk Tuah theme and do a little penis story. This is actually somewhat of a follow-up to a story we discussed last week, which I've heard from several people is disturbing the hell out of them. Do you know which story that is?
I don't know what story it is, but I feel like before you start it, we should have a little check-in on your personal peen just to get the story going,
Even if I don't take it out and play with it, I still like seeing it. So that's true. It's been lonely of late. Kennedy's traveling, so.
Oh. Did you spend any time having to beat your meat since she's been gone?
Any time or all of my time?
Any time. Did you? Were you required? Or was it required to beat a meat while she's been gone?
Like federally required, or
just harness required? Dude.
Hell yes. I hate going from having consistent sex to all of a sudden just you're in a drought. So yes, for my sanity and for the good of the neighborhood, so I'm not out yelling and screaming at people. I feel I'm doing my part for society.
Sure. That'll be 9:48. There's something leaking through your pores. Oh yeah, it's just semen, dude.
That's the story right there from last week.
Give us more.
Refresh the audience on what that was. Anyone?
No, I have no idea.
Semen. How many semen stories did we do last week? We did a story about the fact that
from last week. Yes, microplastics were in your semen, and they also we threw against the wall, and it did not stick. By the way, the semen has as much calories in it as a Big Mac.
False. Urban legend. False.
Yes.
Nowhere even near.
Oh.
So we did the story last week that some study was done in China, and they found that every single male sample of semen had microplastics inside of it. So this week, just to make it a little more depressing for all of us guys, microplastics discovered for the first time in human penises. We're skipping right over the scrotum and just going right to the pole, full of microplastics.
That's terrible, dude. Oh, we got it in our poll now. Unless maybe it would benefit us, dude. It'd be easier to keep it up for a while,
Oh, see, that's interesting that you would say that, because that is how this study was, this is how it was discovered, and they're worried about it. Oh. Scientists have found microplastics in human penises, for the first time, as concern over the tiny particulates proliferation, causing a great concern for potential human health side effects. So 7 different kinds of microplastics were found in 4 out of 5. So there was one lucky guy. It's samples of penis tissues taken from 5 different men as part of a study published in the Your Sex Medicine Journal this past week. This was part of an erectile dysfunction study. These were all men that were going in for surgical procedures to try to correct limp dick. And yeah, they found microplastics. And now these scientists are starting to wonder, is that causing erectile dysfunction to have microplastics in our dicks?
Dude, it's like we talked about last week. Microplastics are in everything now. I mean, they're in us. They're in everything. They're in the ground. They're in our water. They're everywhere. And we're going to have to figure this out quickly because I think we're going to see cancer start to spike. We're going to see, these different diseases start to spike. This is terrible, I think. I think it's emergency time.
Yeah. I mean, they're not entirely sure what this can cause as far as health side effects. They don't think it's going to cause anything good. More studying is required. More time is required. And as we said last week, I mean, if this does not rally the men of the world that control all the governments and corporations, like our dicks, our semen are getting invaded by microplastics. Forget about global warming and climate. We have microplastics in our dicks.
Right,
like, can we not all rally behind this?
Yes, the penile institution is at stake. We got to figure this out quickly. So let's get on it, fellers.
Yes. Brewski, does this worry you?
No.
It's an honest answer.
Because I'm already damaged enough as it is, and I'm not worried about the rest of you fuckers. So
it's an honest answer, dude, and one I can appreciate. I mean, hey, here's the deal. I could be far too gone anyway. Not only with the penis, but I could be far too gone with my whole body. Like, I'm unhealthy enough, right? So maybe I don't care about this.
Yeah, that's fair. So a couple of follow-ups here. One, what are microplastics? We kind of covered it last week, but listening back to the show, I don't know that we hit on it quite.
Are they really small plastics?
I think that's what they are.
But where do they come from? There's two versions. One, Brewski, you actually mentioned last week, there's certain kind of facial scrubbing creams that come with microplastics.
Yeah, it says the one of them says on the tube with smooth, round micro scrubbers. Those are so small that even when they go through water treatment plants, there's no filter that's that fine that can actually stop them from getting through and into the water supply.
100% correct. So yeah, there's all sorts of products that have microplastics in them for abrasion, exfoliation kind of things. But then also just regular plastics as they start to break down in the environment, or if they are destroyed or shredded, like all those little fine particles, those are all microplastics too.
Wait, you're telling me they actually break down?
Yeah, eventually.
Over millions of years. They, a couple of years ago, they dug up a fossil of a T-Rex, and there was a Dasani bottle trapped on his foot. So they have been around for a long time.
I think that's part of it, though, is that they have been around for a long time now. They do take a long time to break down. So we're into that stage of plastics where they're so omnipresent everywhere in not only just the marketplace, but in the environment and the ground and dumps and, the oceans are just filled with plastics. And yeah, as those things start to deteriorate, break down, especially stuff in salt water will break down quicker. And yeah, so microplastics have made their way into the water table. So they're in oceans, they're coming back down in the rain, they're in the food supply, they're in things we eat, they're in our semen, they're in our penises, they're all over the place.
They're everywhere, dude.
Well, so how do you stop them? How do you detox from microplastics? Which I didn't even think was a thing. I thought we were all just kind of screwed, but I did find a list here of a couple of things of how you can, if anyone's concerned about this. Brewski, I get you're not. But.
I'll do it. I mean, I'll try it if it's not.
I mean, I'm king of recycling here. I recycle everything.
Well, so it's kind of like, I'll relate it to my dirt bike. Sometimes I get sediment in my gas tank, and I have to take the tank off. I have to swoosh it with like water and dump it out. And you get a lot of the sediment, but then you got to do it again. You got to keep putting pure stuff in to keep getting the bad stuff out is my point. So that is one method.
Clean the pet cock too.
Exactly. My favorite dirt bike word. That is a real word. We're not being obscene. So yes.
No, not at all. It's called Nikki. You know what that is, right?
Yeah. A little pet cock.
Yeah.
Pet cock controls the gas coming out of the tank, and it's also a great Saturday night activity, ladies, if you're listening. So.
Pet cock is better than a pet rock. And let's think about the bike also has a bunghole on it. So the pet cock and the bunghole are both important things to know about.
So if you add organic and fresh foods to your diet, the more organic food, in theory, is not going to have the contaminants in it. So if you tip the scales, if you're eating more of that, it should start to flush your system. That's maybe not practical for everyone, but...
I'm an American. I need a pill, dude. Give me a pill. I want it out yesterday.
Does it have to be organic food? Because it gets kind of expensive.
Well, this is saying organic, so it's pure. But I don't know. I'm not.
The rest of that stuff has microplastics in it, dude. Yeah, we got to get organic.
Oh, okay.
The next one, going back to the pet talk, is engaging in physical activities to stimulate sweating.
Oh, we can sweat out these microplastics.
Apparently, yes. So if you're either exercising regularly or banging away in the harness level where you're breaking a sweat, like any of these activities can help get plastics out of your body.
Well, yeah. I mean, I sweat anytime I have sex, even if it's for a minute or two. So, yeah. I mean, and I don't think it's because I'm working hard. I think it's just because it's hard to move at this point.
You stop that right now. You are putting in work, my friend. Just stop right now.
I'm always putting myself down. But I'm putting in hard work. That's not just 30 seconds of effort. It takes a good 10 minutes, and then we'll start dribbling for doing it right.
You're wasting too much time, my man. You can get that done right quick.
It's an art form. It's an art form.
No. Just blast off and be done with it. That's all you need to do.
Well, now speaking of blasting off, though, that could be a way to double down your efforts, because if you're expelling the jizz that has microplastics in it, that's some of it gone, and then you're sweating while banging up to that point. I mean, that's a win-win right there.
I don't want to put in the effort. I want to get it done, and that's that.
But you're basically saying sex is the cure for microplastics. Sex and sex alone.
I'm going to stop right there on the list. Yes, Nick, you're correct. I believe
to
what
completion. And we'll check that as a fact.
That's a fact.
Okay. Well, that was good, dude. Thanks for letting us know.
The rest are all irrelevant. I agree. Just stop right there. So
yeah, I don't need a pill.
The next one is actually breathing. Add breathing exercises into your training routine. So there's 3 right there that sex covers.
Sex or dry humping. I mean, you don't have to. There doesn't have to be penetration, Mormons. Okay.
The last ones. I'm doing this for some reason nowadays. Increase your fiber intake. Who knew? I'm doing that for colon issues, but apparently that helps cleanse microplastics as well.
As you get older, a lot of people say you need fiber. I'm good on the fiber. I tried taking fiber, and it made me too much. I just
you know what you can do though. You don't have to take fiber supplement if you they say an apple a day keeps a doctor away.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how much fiber is in a standard apple? I mean, I can look it up, but it's crazy how much fiber is in there. You have an apple for breakfast, and then another one for lunch. That's a lot of fiber right there.
What if you eat an apple while getting a blowjob after having vigorous sex? I mean, we're saving the world right now.
Again, you're wasting time with the vigorous sex.
That'd be Roman times, though. I could just see, the statue of David before he was a statue.
We seem to have different definitions of wasting time, because that seems like time well spent to me. But
no, just get see you want to like enjoy the pleasure and with your lady and all that sort of thing. I just want to get the shit done. That's it. I just want to get it done. Get everything done I need to get done. And that's it.
You should really write a relationship book. It can be like 2 paragraphs.
I'm not cuddling. I'm not spooning. None of that crap. You know.
It's hard to believe you're single, right?
Brewski just wants to get off, dude.
Yeah.
The last one on the list is brilliant. It says consume less plastics. Well, there you go. I guess that would make a lot of sense for those of you eating plastics. So.
Problem solved, dude.
Steve, it's kind of like when the guy goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, it hurts my arm when I do this," and the doctor says,
"Stop doing that."
Exactly.
An idiot. All right. What if she's blowing you with a condom on? Is she consuming plastics then? I don't know. I'm getting lost.
That's a waste of time right there.
Well, that definitely is a waste. Do we agree on that?
I probably have probably a couple hundred condoms in my drawer upstairs right now. I don't wear a condom, but I'll tell you why, dude, because my brother bought a gas station vending machine from the bathroom. The bathroom. Yeah. So it had like condoms in it. It had like sex toys, cock rings, stuff like that. And he got it open and the thing was full. Like it had just been filled up. So all these condoms are from the 70s and they have, little sayings on the box and stuff like that. So, yeah.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this. We interrupt our program to bring you this.
All the humanity, all the things.
A date which will live in infamy.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Need to know news.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not me, not you. And welcome to Need to Know News. This is news you need to know. Most people of our generation will either think of Leon Redbone or possibly like something else. When you hear harmonicas start to play, is it Blues Traveler or is it the Roseanne Show? Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. Okay, so Roseanne, she's batshit crazy. I mean, she's huge MAGA now and loves Donald Trump, and I really do think she's got mental issues far beyond just being a little eccentric. You know what I mean? So she's been doing a podcast with her son, and I feel like her son should be charged with elder abuse because he just feeds into all this crazy shit that she says. And she's obviously got a big following of people. It's all MAGA people, but he gets on the air with her on these podcasts and just completely, sucks her butthole and keep feeding these lies to the American people. She sat down with none other than Hobbitfoot, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you wonder how much crazy can fit in one room. Well, I think we figured it out. All right. These two bitches, dude, do this podcast and the sun is sitting in. Some of this stuff is just propaganda and enraging to us, but I can see people eating it up. And some of it is just completely institutionally batshit crazy. This is Roseanna Barr's intro of her podcast.
Greetings, humans. Greetings, earthlings, and any animal people, animal souls that might be listening on the fringes. All beings of this whole cosmos that might be tuning into this frequency right now. It's such an exciting one.
It's so exciting. She's big into conspiracy theories, right? And, she's been spoken out against the Jews several times in very crass ways. And, you'll hear a little bit throughout this meeting. But her sitting down with MTG, Roseanne starts the show out saying basically the Dems will do whatever it takes to win. And so will she.
Oh, I'll do whatever. If I have to stop him by making up lies about him peeing on prostitutes in the hotel, it doesn't bother me. I have no conscience because I have to get to wherever. And to me, it's just so close to, hey, if I have to kill 6 million Jews to get where I'm going, it's no big deal.
It is a short walk.
That's right. That is how they are.
They don't care.
I think the day of reckoning is... if there is going to be an election, I wanted to ask you if you think there is, because I think it could go either way, depend on what they do between now and then. Because they could do a lot of dirty things and just say, oh, well, when they figure, hey, we can't cheat because they're going to make us do the paper ballot voter ID, so we can't obviously cheat, so we'll just shut down everything, including the internet. And nobody will go anywhere, and they'll just sit home.
Or like
they've already
Zelensky
done
did.
that to us with the quarantine.
Absolutely, and that's what the great democracy of Ukraine did. They can't.
Dude, I mean, there's so much stupid flowing from this. That,
I was going to say, I have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, it's maddening to listen to.
First of all, this is why you want your podcast host to have some broadcasting background, because I'm already annoyed at just the rambling, babbling, loosely formed thoughts that these two have and the word salad that's going on. And I love that her thing is, I'm willing to lie, like you're already doing it, so we know you're willing to.
With conservatives alike, I hate calling conservatives and relating them to Roseanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene, because I know my brother's a conservative, and this is not him. So I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but a pro-life stance has been taken by most conservatives around this great nation, and it's been a big topic of conversation. And this is what Roseanne and Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say about these abortions.
She passed a bill twice on the House floor that would make abortion legal up until the day of birth.
Yeah.
They all voted for that. They love baby killing. It's their favorite sacrifice to the devil. They love it.
Yeah.
And,
well, they love the baby blood. They love bathing in that and drinking it, too. Now,
I've heard.
Yeah, they
I
do.
I like your mom. We're going to.
I love it.
I says in my act, I put They already proved they're selling the aborted fetus parts to Bill Gates to put in his meat. Well, you know that's true.
The fake meat or the real meat?
The fetus meat.
You know that's true. No.
Oh my God.
What? Halfway through that clip, I was like, I wish I had a pause button right now to just tell people this is not a Saturday Night Live skit. Like, these are two women having a conversation and they believe everything they're saying.
I know, as part of the liberal cabal, I do enjoy a cup of baby blood in the morning. I mean, it's good for your skin. I think it exfoliates like microplastics.
Well, she mentioned Bill Gates and eating babies and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And it just reminded me of the album by the Dayglow Abortions, this fantastic punk band from Vancouver, British Columbia, called Feed Us a Fetus. And if you look at the album cover, it actually has Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan, a drawing of them, and Ronnie's got a plate in front of him with a dead baby and jelly beans on the plate and everything.
Wow.
That's what it reminded you of. Interesting.
Well, yes, he's talking about somebody eating babies, you know.
It made me think of the Harness Family Thanksgiving with all of us liberals sitting around eating fresh. We only eat free-range babies, though, just so we're all no cage babies, okay?
Well, you know what? I like, you know how you eat veal and it's real young cow? So, like, I wouldn't take an abortion that was the day before birth. You know, like, I wouldn't take one of those. I want, like, a 2-week old abortion, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
this is crazy talk, dude, that these women are talking about this and that they're getting off on it. And the fact that, Bill Gates is buying fetus parts to make meat with, what are you talking about?
Oddly enough, amongst all that, the most absurd thing in there was Hobbit Feet saying we voted on a bill to abort babies up to a day before they're born.
Yes, right.
Everyone voted for it, she said. Really? I missed that one.
Everyone did. We'll end this conversation with Roseanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene with this last clip. Marjorie Taylor Greene says that Dems are hiding a bunch of shit that they don't want to come out right now, okay? And she's going to tell you what we're hiding now.
And they're trying to do everything they can to prevent it. They're in complete prevent defense mode.
Yeah.
And I think,
what are they mostly trying to prevent? It seems like, well, the Epstein list.
Oh,
they're terrified. They don't want that out, right?
Right. Well, there seems to be this rise among the people demanding the truth. Everyone wants the Epstein list.
Right.
People want to know about the UAPs. People are like, what are these UFOs and UAPs? People want to know about the Kennedy files.
Right.
People want to know all about the Department of Justice and these terrible persecutions. People want to know the truth out of the federal government, and they have every right to know it.
Absolutely.
Sure. Hey, listen, I'm in favor of all those things coming out, but Trump was just in office. He didn't release any of it.
Oh, Trump was asked point blank about a lot of stuff that he would declassify. And they asked him, the last one they asked him about was the Epstein logs. Would you declassify those? And he was like, yeah. Well, there is some sensitive stuff in there. I wouldn't want it to hurt anyone's lives, so I might have to think more on that one,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, he said there was a lot of made up stuff in there.
Yeah, you don't know what's true.
You don't know.
Yes, like so.
And did you see? I did see that clip, and yeah, you're right. It was JFK aliens. Yes, said declassify. Yes, said declassify that, and then the Epstein thing. He said yes, and then backpedaled. And did you see the story that Fox News edited that? They originally aired it in its entirety, but then every time they played it back, they cut Trump off after he said, yes, I would declassify. They cut out all of his backpedaling and having and hawing, all of his there's a lot of lies in there, a lot of lies. People could be hurt by that stuff. Talk about Freudian. Come on.
Yes. No, these are the things that people are making the tour of our country with, and it's spouting off, and there are people listening out there to them, and I implore you to do a little research and find out more. Don't just listen to this shit, because it is, for people who follow reality along, this is laughable, dude. You can't even tell that it would be a real thing people were discussing, spending any time. So now we've spent time discussing it, so make a better choice, won't you?
It sounds like a parody, like you said. And do you think they have any self-awareness of how pathetic it is? If we were all sitting around here talking about Biden and conspiracy theories and Trump drinking baby blood, I think there'd be some voice in my head that would tell me I'm really on the wrong team if these are the things I have to make up in order to justify voting for that person. Do they have any of that?
I don't think that they do, and which is why I was mentioning, like, that son should be charged with elder abuse, because he should be able to step in and have that voice. You know that he's got that voice, but he doesn't care because this makes money for his family and everything else. So, you would think that you would have that voice.
I did see on the Tic Tac clips of Roseanne there on Piers Morgan's show, which I think he only does a show in England now, I think. But
yes.
But he was debating, quote unquote, with her, and you could just see the look on his face. He was trying not to laugh. It was like he was debating an infant or something. It was just so dumb, the things she was saying. She had some conspiracy theory about Jill Biden was Joe Biden's babysitter at one point in life. And Morgan was just like, that's not true. That was debunked eons ago. And Roseanne's just like, oh, Google it. You'll find it on Google. Come on, Internet. Show here. And he had to explain to her that not everything you read on the Internet is true, child. Like, verbally patting her on the head. And he felt bad for her having this discussion,
It was hard to watch is whatever you think about Piers Morgan, the truth that we could probably all agree on is that he can get on the air, and his producers and fact checkers and all of his writers have done a good enough job that he can have a good debate with somebody and go round and round, okay? When he has Roseanne on the air, it is like he has a mentally challenged person on the air with him, and like he doesn't want to go too hard at her because it would almost be mean.
And how pathetic is that? And again, these, conservatives, these are your celebrities. You've got Roseanne, Ted Nugent, Kid Rock. Like, can you step back at all and look at the idiots on your side? Forget about you, because you're brilliant, obviously, but look at the celebrities you guys attract. Fucking Kevin Sorbo. I'm arguing with Kevin Sorbo on Twitter all the time now because I'm so sick of this asshole.
Kirk Cameron did.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron, exactly.
Scott Baio.
What's funny is that you mentioned Kevin Sorbo. He is a spokesperson now for a particular gold company. And so if you want to buy, gold to protect yourself from the next market collapse, take your financial advice from Kevin Sorbo.
He's not stupid entirely, apparently, because the smart ones realize they can milk money out of those sheep on the right. They are so ready to just give you money for your fake coins, for your Bibles, for your, your money investment schemes, and for the felon now. Like Trump keeps trying to brag how much money he raised after these 34 convictions. That's not a brag. That's not something you should be flexing on.
Well, did you see the new T-shirt that's been popping up at all the Trump rallies now?
What is it?
On the back of it says in huge letters, I am proudly voting for the felon.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying before, that there is no line anymore. He could be raping little boys and they would all find a way to think that that's brilliant. So, yeah. People, we have to outvote them, okay? Just stop with this on the fence stuff. Show up in November and vote.
We can only hope and pray so much. So get out there. Vote, take action.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Start the news chant, please.
Come on.
News.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Gentlemen, I bring you a story from the bathroom. And I know this is a place we've gone a number of times.
Number 2 times.
Woo! Yeah. But hey, listen, they say when you gotta go, you gotta go.
That's right.
And the headline on this story: burglary suspect confronted by Colorado police while on the toilet. Quote, I'm on the shitter, bud. End quote.
He broke into somebody's house and was on the shitter? Is this what I'm hearing?
Yes.
That is phenomenal. I mean, like you said, you gotta go, dude.
This alleged burglar went from the crapper to the clink. A Colorado police department released yuck-worthy footage of officers confronting a suspect while he was on the toilet after authorities received reports of a burglary in progress Thursday morning.
Your adrenaline gets raging during break-ins, and that can stir stuff up,
and maybe he hit some fast food before, for some extra energy before he went to go break in. And
we have no idea what this man went through. Let's give him a little break here, ladies and gentlemen.
He might have made a stop at the Bell, and you know what happens after you go to the Bell.
Yeah.
Or he's been increasing his fiber intake to get rid of microplastics and then breaking in the house and all catches up.
Apple a day. You get what we're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the officers with the Liquid Police, they descended upon the property around 4 a.m. The body cam footage shows a heavily armed police officer burst open an interior door to reveal a male suspect sitting on the toilet. and the guy says to the cop, "I'm on a shitter, bud."
Give me a second. Like, have a little respect.
I was going to say, I thought that was a universal truth. Like, I'm in the bathroom, leave me alone. I think I'm immune from prosecution if I'm in here. It's like, being in Switzerland or something. It's neutral in here.
Come out with your pants up. Listen, this guy was irresponsible. I'm saying if I'm breaking and entering and there is cops outside, I'm shitting my pants, dude, just to try and get out and make it. If I do get caught, I'm just going to stick my butt in their face, like it's a weapon at that point.
To me, that's like when you're on the game show and you only have 60 seconds left for the shopping spree. Like, the clock's running out. Grab what you can grab and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be plenty of time to go shit someplace else.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they don't make anything. They don't say anything of the. Had the guy wash his hands before they put the cuffs on him, or I assume that they allowed him to wipe. That much they would. I mean, that is in the Geneva Convention, or at least a right, I would imagine.
Hopefully, it was done with Charmin, so there were no dingleberries up there.
Yeah, and
he used some Huggy wipes for total cleansing.
Right.
What if he's like a really stinky one? You know what I mean? You burst that door open. And that smell hits you. If you're the cop, you like close the door and then wait until you hear the toilet flush and then kick it back in at that point.
Well, I think that I could see on the body cam, dude, the guys busting into the bathroom and being like, "Oh my God, dude, you're being charged with assault on an officer." Just your butthole stinks.
All the hazmat team. We got some sort of chemical leak going on.
Yes. Dude, talk about vulnerability, dude. I don't know if you could be in a more vulnerable situation. Am I right?
I would just keep saying occupied until they left.
Occupado.
Did he courtesy flush? I mean, did he keep them in mind at all?
I don't know. He's breaking into someone's house, so I'm not sure he's worried too much about things like that,
Yeah, you're probably right.
One of my cops arresting Karen videos I saw today, as a matter of fact, was the cops show up for a domestic violence call. The husband explains that the wife was, pounding on him and he had visible, wounds. So the cops go upstairs in the house to talk to the woman, and she gets in the bathtub. And she's just like, "Nope, I'm taking a bath. You cannot come in here. I am
naked."
Yes. And the cops are banging on the door, like, put on a towel, put on a robe. Like, no, we're not on your timetable. Get out of the bath. And the woman just kept refusing. They broke on in there and hauled her ass out of the bathtub, buck naked.
Are you sure this wasn't a porn, dude?
Oh, I'm very sure. Because she was like 75 years old or something. Oh. There's nothing sexy. And they blurred it all out. But yeah, I mean, they hauled her ass out of the bathtub because there is no bathroom immunity. Whatever.
Sure. I saw a lady. And it may even have been on cops, I don't know, but she got pulled over for a DUI, and they thought she had a warrant or something like that. She said, I gotta poop, and he was like, you'll be able to poop when we get to the station. She was wearing spandex and just pulled him down in the street and started pooping on the ground right in front of them. I mean, people will do, have you? Yeah, people do some weird shit, dude.
People claim all the time, they gotta pee and poo when they're getting arrested. I don't know what they think that's gonna do, but I've seen multiple videos of people just pissing in the back of cop cars, and I did see the one of the woman that kind of walked around the little pole or whatever and dropped her pants.
So gross.
Listen, I know cops kill the occasional black man. I'm not condoning that, but the rest of the job really does kind of suck. So maybe cut them just a little slack for all the naked bathroom incidents they have to deal with. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I would like that'd be my favorite part of the job, dude. I mean, great party stories for sure, right?
They're not all porn stars, though, like Brewski said before. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
All right, continuing my theme for all my news stories today are penis related. I just it's on the brain. It's coming up in the news a lot.
Wow. When does your girlfriend get home, dude?
Not soon enough, but yes. But I blame the Tuah woman. She's just put a lot of this out in the ether. So I have another news story here, and I'm going to do a non-scientific survey of the two other men on this show. Have you guys ever heard of summer penis?
I don't know that I've heard of it. I could I'd take a guess at what it means, though. Has Brewski heard of it?
Yeah, Brewski, have you ever heard of this? This is apparently a phenomenon. I've
heard of summer teeth, but no summer penis.
Okay, yeah. Nick, do you want to make a prediction of what summer penis is?
Yes. Summer penis is droopy large penis, okay? But only because, as we know, when your nuts are warmer, your balls get bigger, and when it's cold outside or you go into cold water, things, freeze up to keep that semen at temp. And so, yeah, summer penis is somewhat of a phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon.
That's what I was saying.
Listen, shrinkage is true, to quote Costanza. That is definitely a truity. And it is true also that your balls will hang lower in the summer because of the heat factor. I'm trying to get it away from that heat source.
Right.
Preserve your microplastic-filled love juice. But the phenomenon of summer penis that, no, I've never heard of, but apparently a lot of people have. Some men swear that the heat of summer has a flattering effect on their peens. Adding inches in length and girth.
That's what I was saying, dude.
You're saying droopy. They're saying like it'll make you another inch larger or rounder. Like
let the penis out a little bit. Let it droop down. Everything gets bigger in the heat. I know that's true for me.
I don't like the droopiness. They're saying this is a rock hard phenomenon. That's the distinction.
No, they're not.
But I don't know penises that get droopy. Like testicles, yeah, but penises get droopy.
Well, they're always droopy unless they're hard, right?
Yeah, but I mean, not like testicles can get like really droopy.
You're saying that they're saying that this is all about being hard in the sunshine?
Well, that in the summertime, when they do get hard, that they're longer and thicker because of the heat. Things expand in the heat. That's the urban legend claim here.
All right. I have never heard that distinction of when it's hard. My dick gets bigger in the summer. Softiosis. Okay. Okay. Yes. Penal softiosis. Come on.
Let's see. Here's just a quote from a random dude. In the summer, my dick tends to be consistently larger when I look in the mirror, and my biggest measurements have been taken in the summer. This is according to Richard. His name's Richard Dick. A 30-year-old who lives in the Northeast. Is this a Northeastern phenomenon, Brewski? Does your junk get bigger in the summer?
No, it doesn't.
I can't say that I've ever noticed this. It sounds great in theory, but is this all just a pipe dream? Pun very much intended. Let's see here. This one doctor says, it makes sense to me because of the underlying mechanism of how a man's penis can expand and contract in size. The size of the penis can increase and decrease as a result of relaxation or contraction or many tiny blood vessels that compromise the inside of the shaft of the penis. But is there actual scientific proof behind this? As fascinating as the subject may be, as much of an urban legend as it may be, and as much as apparently it's being discussed on the interweb, there's no definitive scientific evidence one way or the other that summer penis is a real thing. A urologist who runs the Turek Clinic in San Francisco says that while there could be some truth to the idea that penises appear bigger in the heat, there isn't enough research on the subject for doctors to say whether it's absolutely, completely true. He does go on to say the shrinkage is real and so are droopy balls, but so I don't know. Again, I think we need some government funding, maybe some nonprofit. Maybe Bill Gates could stop making baby blood drinks and put some money into this research.
Fetal meat.
Right. Fetal meat. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I also would like to know if is there any difference if you're circumcised, not circumcised? We need to start studying this,
I'm circumcised. I got my son circumcised. I'm not religious.
Well, we got our first person to take the survey. So we're...
Here's what I'm going to do. When Kennedy is back, we're going to have one night of Yahtzee where I'll have the AC in the house nice and cool. And then the next night, the AC is going to break. We're going to be hot. We're going to be sweaty. See if there's any discernible difference.
Okay, do me a favor, dude. I want to know softiosis and hard, because that guy did not make any distinction on whether or not he was hard in that story or not. I know, personally speaking, that my my dick is bigger in the sunshine. I don't like the winter anymore. I'm too old now. I'm like a snowbird that hasn't moved yet. I don't take the winters as well anymore, and my dick is no exception to that. So
I think everyone perks up in the summer a little more, right? You're getting outside in the sun, the fun. Everyone's just a little more active. So.
Yeah, including my dick.
Nick's dick likes the summer heat.
Yeah, likes the heat. Yeah, I can trick it. If I go in a tanning bed, I can trick it. So I know it's the summertime. It's the sunshine. It's the heat. So,
well, maybe we should do some sort of scientific thing. Like, let's wait till we're in like the heat of July. Let's all do our best measurement, and then we'll measure again in like January, and let's see how it all says up. You know?
Okay, we'll see if there's any change. All right.
I think damn research.
Scientific, of course.
Need to know news.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey, dude, do you know who Jelly Roll is?
I wish I didn't.
Okay. Brewski?
I do, yes.
Fan, not fan, don't care.
I'm indifferent. It's not my thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, good for him for, I mean...
Totally.
I know the music business is all about image a lot of times, and if you didn't know what he looked like and you just listen to the music and that sort of thing, people might be like, okay, this guy's pretty good, but then they'll look at him and like, oh wow, that's that guy,
Right.
So
he looks like if Post Malone gained 200 pounds and became a country artist, face tattoos and neck tattoos and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, so the truth of Jelly Roll, and I will just start the story by saying I've just kind of been indifferent on the guy. I'm not a fan. I don't hate him. But his story is rather interesting. The fact that he had a lot of felons. I mean, he was in prison for a long time. That's where a lot of his tattoos came from. He lived a tough life and a hard life and got out and thought, oh, I could start doing the singing thing, all based off one night he's at a karaoke bar. He sings Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll. Okay. He was like, oh, it's just something I know I could sing. And there were people there that were like, you don't do this for a living? That's crazy. Well, in jail, he had been doing stuff, but it was all hip hop stuff. He never thought about a singing career and then realized, oh, I guess I'm singing in some of my raps. So he started doing this whole singing thing, and he's off drugs for the most part. His wife, I don't know if it's wife or girlfriend, but his partner, she comes from kind of the same background. Used to be a sex worker, and they're really vocal about it and talk to people about it, trying to get their lives back on track. I thought something I heard in the news last week was really interesting, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, both of your opinions. Jelly Roll explains how smoking marijuana has kept him sober. It's helped me in so many different regards. The story is this.
Country music star Jelly Roll saying, quote, marijuana has helped me stay sober. According to Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, that is not sobriety and it is not recovery, at least not really. But Jelly Roll is saying that the marijuana, the cannabis, keeps him off codeine, keeps him off cocaine, things he's had a problem with in the past. And it puts him into this bigger category of trend where a lot of people are being California sober, which means they generally lay off booze and hard drugs, but they include cannabis in their life's journey. So I put the question to you all, would you call that sober?
No, would you call that sober? Because, California sober has become a big thing over the years. Some people scoff, some people laugh. How do you feel about California sober, Harness, being from California?
I will tell you something Chris Cornell said on stage years ago when I saw Soundgarden in California, and marijuana was just becoming illegal then. And Chris Cornell said, I will accept marijuana as a medicine the day my doctor prescribes me Jack Daniels.
Okay. All right. And do you agree with that?
Listen, are you sober? Obviously not. The California sober thing, though, there is some logic to it because all of those other things, alcohol, any sort of hard drugs, methamphetamines, any sort of, any of these, what's the
opioids, barbiturates, all these.
Yeah, any of that kind of stuff is absolutely toxic, is absolutely going to kill you. And marijuana does not have those same effects. I've heard cops before say that if I have to choose between showing up at a domestic violence call where the husband is drunk or the husband is stoned, I'll take the stoned guy every single day of the week because alcohol is so visceral and can, amplify moods. And so, I mean, is it safer? Is it smarter? Is it a better way to partake here and there but not be as toxic to your body? Sure. But is it sober? I mean, actually sober? No.
For me, it's like if that's what gets you through your day, and keeps you off something bigger, fantastic.
I would say I get what you're saying. I don't completely agree. I think that if you are into some of these harder drugs, and I know you feel this way too, Steve, the pot is fairly harmless. Okay. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. I think sugar has more harm than pot does, right? We're eating candy bars and, drinking soda, stuff like that every day. If this keeps you off, and lets you live a life, that's easier and you don't have to become addicted to drugs, because I've been smoking pot for years and if somebody told me that I had to stop tomorrow, would I be bummed? Like, yeah, that stinks, but I could do it and I wouldn't go into withdrawal and I wouldn't, have all these other issues that you do with hardcore drugs. So making that distinction of California sober, I think is necessary because technically you're not sober. But for the most part, I think that you are healthier, like you said, than alcohol. And if Chris Cornell were still here, I would tell him, doctors did used to prescribe alcohol. Okay. I mean, they did. Dentists had you put it on your gums. They used to take it for a cold back in the day. Like
still do, actually.
All right. So there you go, Chris Cornell.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that. Hang on that statement for a while.
Oh,
I mean, that was rude. Who said that?
Oh, come on.
Listen, I would infinitely rather hang out with somebody who was California sober than sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have some fun in this world. If you're truly just sober, most of those people are kind of lame. So,
but I'll tell you what, though, they're not as bad as the vegans.
The vegans, those are some bad people.
That's a good debate, actually. Yeah, right.
You can't eat anything, and who the hell invites them to a cookout anyway?
It's so funny.
It's a really good debate. Is it better to be food shamed by a vegan or substance shamed by a sober person? I don't know which would be less annoying. I don't know.
We should put it to the audience. We should ask them what they think. If you had to choose, which one of those two would you choose?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, call the comment line, 844-48-VOCAL.
I think I'd rather be food shamed, because screw you, if I want to have a beer or smoke a bowl, like I'm doing that. Maybe I could eat a little better. Yeah, maybe you got something there, but screw your substance talk,
Yeah. Aren't we all used to being shamed by everybody about everything? I'm food shamed. I am constantly shamed for smoking cigarettes, constantly for smoking pot. Like, you just get shamed for shit. And these people are projecting. So it's all right. Yeah. I don't think.
Kudos to Jelly Roll for being the pioneer of this.
Yes.
Nick, there's a great man out there who actually shames people for using flossers in the most weird places that, and they just dispose of them on the ground.
That's right. That littering with plastic flossing material is very irresponsible. And you wonder oftentimes, who fucking flosses here, dude? You find them in parking lots, you find them on beaches.
Yes. Brewski is referring to our own Nick Reynolds, who has started a social media frenzy, I would call it.
Kind of a phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Hashtag who floss is here. And then everyone's gammed on, and now I do it. I see these disposable flossing things in random places. I got to take a picture and send it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I've seen them a couple of times, and I immediately stop what I'm doing, and I have to take a picture of it and text it to Nick immediately with the hashtag who floss is here.
And don't you find you see them everywhere? I mean, they're in the oddest of places. Who fucking flosses here?
I literally the other day almost sent you a picture, and then I realized I was in someone's bathroom. Like, I guess it's okay they're flossing. But it was on the floor. And I was like, who flosses here? Oh, it is a floss.
This is where you're supposed to floss.
Yeah. And just real quick to circle back to this Jelly Roll thing, that dude, I don't know that I've heard any of his music, but he has to be talented. He has to be. The music industry, if you are not an attractive person, you better be so fucking talented that your talent outweighs the way you look. So anytime you see an ugly, quote unquote, person in the music industry, you know they're good. Adele would not have a contract if she wasn't that good. I mean, what she used to look like. A Lizzo, I would argue, if they weren't good. Like, you've got to. Who was that old lady on America's Got Talent that everyone laughed at, and then she had like
Susan Boyle.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So, if you truly have the talent without the it factor, you can get away with it. So Jelly Roll's good.
He is. I mean, he's a phenomenal singer, and you know what? He's one of those guys, for better or for worse, whatever you think of it. He just sort of exudes positivity, and not in an annoying way, but something that's just kind of contagious to be around, So, yeah.
Can I just throw out one last country dig real quick? Because I fucking despise country music.
Okay.
In part because I feel it's the pop version of boy bands for like adults. Like country music is so homogenized. It's such a formulaic sort of music genre that it's so easy to mimic it, and you can't even tell if it's a parody or not.
No, we're not talking about old country, old school country. We're talking about like pop. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the modern country world, country radio. It's all pop music, just following a script, following a formula. Yeah. So do you guys remember Aaron Lewis? Brewski, who's Aaron Lewis?
It's a singer from Stained.
Yes. And do you know what his career is now?
From Springfield, Massachusetts, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I did not know that. Do you know what he's up to nowadays?
Doesn't he do a thing called The American Patriot or something like that?
Well, he's a country artist now.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's his name? Darius Rucker went that route, too.
Yes, he did. And I don't know if this is a fact, but I feel like Aaron Lewis was getting older. Rock albums weren't selling anymore. And he thought, just like conservatives like Sean Hannity, like those crowds are easy to sell stuff to. So I think he decided, like, you know what, if I go country, I bet I can have a whole other career here. I bet I can tour the world. And he's right.
He's massively conservative right now. I don't know if that's what his politics were when Stained were big. But I know now he's all on the conservative bandwagon, and maybe that's part of the whole country thing.
I think he is catering to them. So this new house I moved into, there's a casino, like literally like a half a mile that way, and they do outdoor concerts in the summer. And Aaron Lewis played here the other night. So I was sitting out on my back little porch there and listening to Aaron Lewis because I liked Stained, and I thought maybe he would do some Stained songs. And couple of observations. First of all, I heard him do a Stained song. The I'm on the outside.
I'm looking in, and inside I can see you. Inside you're ugly like me. Yeah.
Yes, and he did the exact song, but all he just has a twang. I'm on the outside. I mean, it's just he just adds the twang that he doesn't sing like that normally. And this is what I'm talking about how condescending it is that all he does is twang up a rock song, and now it's a country song.
He's got to have a piece of hay in his mouth. He's got it comes with a kit. You could buy the kit.
Most country pop artists nowadays are not from like Kentucky, where they would actually sing that way naturally. They're faking it. It's an affect because that's what country music is, and that's what you want the gullible masses. So twang it up, and now you're a country star. And the other funny thing I noticed real quick, and then we can wrap it up, is he had some song. I heard him say, like, this is a new song. We've only performed it live a couple of times, y'all. And there was some line in the song where I couldn't quite hear it from my distance, but he said something like, I'm not a big fan of, and then it was some, MAGA agenda crowd pleaser, because I'm not a big fan of whatever it was, and everyone started, yeah, screw the libs, kind of like cheering. But then the follow-up, the chorus to the song was basically, you do you, I'm going to do me, I don't care what you do. So he was trying to preach some sort of tolerance, and it was right on the heels of them all cheering the libs, and then he was like, yeah, but I'm going to do me and you do you. We should be okay with the libs, basically. And I wondered what the crowd's reaction would have been, because they all laughed and cheered, and then he kind of put it back on them.
And they were crickets, right? I mean, you didn't hear them cheering then. So
I did not. No, for sure. So, and by the way, that Outside song, there's one part of it where he sings really high, and in that he dropped the twang. He went back to his rock voice.
Yeah.
And And I'm like, he's just oscillating within one song. None of you see how insincere that is?
They probably don't know the Stained version of that song. They probably think that's something that he just recorded.
Probably. Or some of them do know it. I have this theory it's true, that country music fans, most of them also like rock and roll. But rock and roll fans, most of them do not like country. It does not cross over the other way.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. When I was in New York this past weekend, I walked into this bar and you remember? Try that in a small town. You know the song. Yes. I walked into a bar and that song started playing, and I was like, "This seems weird that this is playing in New York." And there was a jukebox on the wall. Yeah, somebody played it. As soon as I walked in there, dude, the guy walked from behind the bar and put in a $5 bill. And they have those things on the jukebox where you could pay more money to play your song immediately. It won't be in the list. And you put $5 in there and just change the song right away. And I was like, oh, okay. There was a tourist playing small town, and he took care of it. Job well done.
Money well spent. Kudos.
Yes. Welcome and goodbye from the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Labruski. See our webpage online. That's where you'll find it.
True story. It's thevocalminority.net. You don't have to type the www anymore, just in case you're not hip on that.
Sure.
Find the social medias, and you can comment. You can call our comment phone number. What is that, Nicholas?
844-48-VOCAL. Don't be afraid, you little bitch. Just pick up the phone. Use it as a microphone. Please say goodbye.
Significant shrinkage.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.